Hi, I'm Aaliyah Baker. I work on Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Universe, and you're watching Megabeatman's True Blue Reviews.
Greetings everyone, and welcome to the Worlds Unite Sonic Battle Book. Like with the Mega Man Battle Book, this issue contains 3 stories set at different points of the crossover, so the same rules apply. I will summarize all of the battle stories at the same time first, and then give my thoughts. With that said, let's get ready to rumble! Our first battle story is Sonic the Hedgehog vs. 3 of the Armored Deadly 6. The setup is pretty much the same as with Mega Man vs. the Deadly 3 fight. Sigma sent the brainwashed Deadly 6 to capture Sonic and Mega Man for his purposes. We already saw how 3 of them captured Mega Man, so how will the other 3 capture Sonic? Well, it starts with Zor, followed by Xena and Zavik stepping out of a Genesis portal right in front of Sonic. Zavik and Xena proceed to attack, while Zor just stands around making comments. The attacks force Sonic through the Genesis portal and into Station Square, which looks surprisingly intact given recent events. The Deadly 3 briefly introduce themselves to Sonic before stating that they are going to capture him. Sonic then homing attacks them. While this would normally work, it doesn't here thanks to the Sigma armor. The people in the background cheer on Sonic, something the Deadly 3 don't like as evidenced by this attack. Sonic blocks the attack, which leads to Zavik punching Sonic right into Xena, and her splashing into a puddle. I don't know why she's all worked up since it's raining, but whatever. Xena angrily punches Sonic through the Genesis portal again, this time leading into an abandoned Eggman junkyard. So the rain just suddenly stopped on this panel here? Moving on, the Deadly 3 used their machine-controlling powers to resurrect the nearby trash Badniks. Sonic could take out the Badniks, but a combination of numbers plus the Deadly 3's Sigma energy somehow knocks him out. And that's how these 3 captured Sonic. Our next fight is Styx vs. Roll. If you recall from part 5, Styx wasn't present at the leaders meeting at first because she was busy dealing with spy brooms. Now we get to see what that statement means. We start with Roll entering Sky Patrol's training simulator. She's here because of a mysterious note. She then gets trapped inside and the room activates, revealing various enemy robots from the Mega Man series. Styx is at the controls and she launches a killer bullet at Roll. Roll destroys it using her broom and... oh geez, you're explaining the sound joke? Really? The reason Styx is attacking is that she wants to deal with the traitor. Roll thinks Styx means her, and Styx activates a spike trap. As Roll escapes said trap, Styx rapidly pushes all the buttons and chaos ensues. Roll is able to fight off and evade many of the obstacles. She even tries to escape by flying on the broom, but she gets trapped in a box. For only a second. Styx blasts Roll at point-blank range, knocking down the helper robot. Styx then moves in to confront Roll's broom. Yep, this whole time Styx was after the broom. You should have figured it out due to me mentioning spy brooms earlier. Yeah, Styx thinks the broom's an enemy spy. Roll, in order to get her broom back, convinced Styx that it's a double agent, and that's how this fight ends. Our final fight is Knuckles vs. Breakman. This takes place during the events of Part 7 when the Deadly 6 take control of the heroic robots and sent them after the Freedom Fighters. Knuckles briefly mentioned his fight with Breakman, so let's see how it played out. It starts with Knuckles taking cover from Breakman's shots, and if I don't point this out, someone will. There are mechanoids in the background. By the time the Deadly 6 took control of the robots, there were no more mechanoids. Yeah folks, we have a continuity flub. You can easily remove them since they really don't affect the story. Anyway, both Knuckles and Breakman don't want to do this, and Knuckles wants to figure something out. Breakman reveals that he's powered by a nuclear core and suggests Knuckles get it to explode near some enemies. In other words, Breakman wants Knuckles to kill him. Knuckles actually realizes this as well, but angrily attacks anyway. Knuckles rightfully calls Breakman a quitter, and Breakman says it's hopeless. This leads to Knuckles lecturing to Breakman about how he's the type of person who does his own thing and not let others control his actions. This also leads to Knuckles demanding that Breakman fight the Deadly Six's control. Breakman says he's tried. This results in back and forth banter between the two, which ends with Breakman calling Knuckles an idiot. I repeat, Breakman calls Knuckles an idiot.
Shut up!
Oh, it made Knuckles mad alright. As he prepares the flaming spiral uppercut, which is totally not a Shoryuken by the way, it's revealed here that Breakman did take Knuckles' words to heart and tries again to gain control. He successfully drops his shield just as Knuckles connects. The fight ends with Breakman on the ground, saying Knuckles won the fight. Knuckles leaves, saying Breakman won his as well. Don't worry folks, Breakman's fine. You can see him later hoverboarding with Sonic. The Sonic vs. the Deadly 3 fight. It was actually alright. The writer for this story is Joel Enos. His previous works include Ben 10, Omniverse, and Bravest Warriors. He does a fine job tackling Sonic's personality, but do I detect additional personality traits from the Deadly 3? After witnessing their cliché personalities in Sonic Lost World and the main crossover story, it's a little weird to see someone like Zavik joke around here. I do appreciate how different this fight is compared to Mega Man's, changing locations thanks to the Genesis portal. For his first trip, Sonic ended up in Station Square. I don't have a problem with this given recent events with this city. For those who don't know, Station Square was hit hard when Sonic's world split into several pieces. Now some time could have passed, and with Gun's help, the city could have been made livable again. It was already recovering from Perfect Chaos's attack. On a related note, with regards to the background people, was anyone reminded of this?
Go Sonic! Yeah, Sonic! Sonic! Sonic!
The end of the fight. I was assuming Sonic was crushed by the Zeddy-controlled Badnik parts. It was alright, but not as shocking as the Zeddy forcing Mega Man to shoot himself in the head. Finally, the art for this story is done by the one and only Tracy Yardley. The second story, Styx vs. Roll, is written and drawn by Ryan Jampol, who worked on the Mega Man comics. Ryan is a fan of Mega Man, and it shows with the numerous Mega Man enemies Roll encounters. As for Roll herself, she's no slouch when it comes to using her broom as a weapon. The game's Mega Man Powered Up and Tatsunoko vs. Capcom can attest to that. Plus the broom's ability to fly, also from the games. The art's great as well, especially with the comedic expressions. If I were to point out one major flaw, it would be Styx. I normally like Styx, but here, I think her conspiracy theory traits are a little too extreme, putting Roll through all that just to get to the broom, which by the way was altered to have the screws produce evil eyes. Again, if you've read part 5 of the crossover, especially the comments on Styx and spy brooms, you should have guessed the outcome already. Then there's the sound effects. Yeah, Knuckles vs. Breakman to me was more than a hero versus hero fight. We have Breakman wanting to commit suicide by echidna because the situation is hopeless. And we have Knuckles correctly guessing Breakman's shtick. He's the lone wolf independent type. By this point, Breakman's been through a lot of crap, including having a fallout with Light, being alone, thinking he was replaced, and joining Wily after he fixed him. And this was before he actually became Breakman. Since then, he's been on one heck of a roller coaster ride. But perhaps Breakman wanting to die is his way of atoning for his actions while serving Dr. Wily. And it was Knuckles' encouragement not to give up that brought Breakman back from whatever mindset he was on. Knuckles said to Breakman at the end of the story that he won his fight. By letting go of his shield to allow Knuckles' attack to connect, he did win. He made the choice to drop the shield and not the Deadly Six. Now some of you are going to say, if Breakman can briefly fight back against the Deadly Six's control, why can't the Maverick Hunters, who are more advanced? The best answer I got is story convenience and character piece. The writer for this story is Aaliyah Baker, Ian Flynn's wife, and I'm starting to get a grasp at her writing style. I see her work as character studies. Sure, there's action, but character inches out a bit more. A greater example of this style is the 4-part Sonic Universe arc Spark of Life, which explores Nicole's origins and some of its consequences. The art for this story is done by Diana Skelly, the one responsible for penciling the tournament arc in the main Sonic comic. Based on her work here, I want to see Diana tackle a Mega Man comic because her Breakman's pretty good. Overall, this issue gets an 8.5. But if I were to break down each story, Knuckles vs. Breakman is the best, Sonic vs. the Deadly Sixers is very enjoyable, and while Styx vs. Roll is the weakest in terms of plot, the art and game shoutouts are very nice. And that's it for the battle books. From here on out, it's the main crossover story to the end. Until next time, everyone, have a good day, and be safe. Seriously, Xena's mad she got drenched while it's pouring rain.